Welcome to Day 5 of the war in the Middle East. Based on the current trajectory, it appears this conflict will be protracted, potentially lasting weeks. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, recently declared it has no remaining red lines, framed as a show of defiance. This was a clear signal that Tehran would retaliate forcefully against any action from Washington or Jerusalem. In the days since, Iran has made good on this threat, but its targets have extended beyond Israeli and American forces. Strikes have also hit the very Gulf nations that had spent months lobbying Washington to avoid war. 5 days in, the conflict's map is expanding rapidly. And this period may be viewed historically as the moment the wider Middle East descended into a major regional conflagration. The air campaign and leadership crisis in Iran's of the latest updates. The U.S.-Israeli campaign, dubbed Operation Roaring Lion, is entering its 5th day. It represents the most intense aerial bombardment in the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The coalition has dropped over 1,000 munitions on countless targets, with B-2 stealth bombers recently joining the effort. Iran's air defenses were suppressed within the first 12 hours, effectively giving coalition forces open season in Iranian skies. The strikes have destroyed roughly half of Iran's missile launchers. A significant escalation occurred when the IDF dropped over 250 munitions in a single wave on what it described as the regime's leadership compound in Tehran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has stated that the hardest hits are yet to come, with President Trump projecting the campaign to last a minimum of 4 to 5 weeks. The initial wave of attacks reportedly killed Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, along with a large portion of the top leadership, including Defense Council Secretary Ali Shamani and Armed Forces Chief of Staff Abdul Rahim Malsavi. This has thrown the country into disarray, with some parts of the chain of command ceasing to function. In response to the chaos, an interim leadership council was formed. However, the IRGC, citing the ongoing bombardment and infrastructure collapse, pushed for the rapid appointment of a new supreme leader. While details are murky, reports from opposition media suggest that Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the late leader, has been elected as his successor. If true, this represents a profound irony for a republic founded on the overthrow of a monarchy, now seemingly becoming hereditary. Adding to the uncertainty, Israel struck the Assembly of Experts compound in calm, with Israeli sources claiming the strike occurred while votes for the new leader were being counted. The core question, however, may soon shift from who leads Iran to whether the country can hold together. Reports indicate the CIA is in discussions with Kurdish opposition groups about providing military support to foment a popular uprising. There is talk of Kurdish paramilitary forces potentially participating in a ground operation in western Iran. While this could temporarily pin down Iranian security forces, it risks deeply destabilizing the country's future. A scenario opposed by both the current regime and many opposition figures. The Gulf states under Iran has retaliated with widespread strikes, not just on Israel and U.S. bases, but deep into the Gulf states. 5 of the 6 GCC members host major U.S. military installations, and Iran had warned they would be considered legitimate targets. Bahrain. Drones struck residential high-rises in Manama, the capital and home to the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet. Qatar. A missile landed in a populated suburb of Doha, away from the Al Udeid airbase. UAE. Dubai faced a massive barrage. While most were intercepted, debris from destroyed missiles rained down across the city, hitting the Fairmont Hotel, located just minutes from the Burj Khalifa. In total, Iran has launched over 500 ballistic missiles and more than 1,100 drones across the Gulf states, in addition to ongoing barrages aimed at Israel. This has pushed Gulf nations who spent months trying to prevent this war closer to the brink. Qatar, a longtime mediator, reportedly shot down 2 Iranian jets and over 100 missiles. It issued a strong warning that such attacks will not pass without a response. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain have issued similar warnings. A critical factor in the Gulf's calculus is its dwindling supply of Patriot interceptor missiles. Bloomberg reports that Qatar's stockpiles as of 2 days ago could be depleted within 4 days at current usage rates. The UAE faces a similarly critical shortage, potentially running out within a week. The U.S. produces only 50 to 60 interceptors per month, with a 3-year lead time on new orders. And existing stockpiles were already committed to Ukraine and other global hotspots. This creates a strategic advantage for Iran, as it is far cheaper and easier to launch missiles than to shoot them down. If the Gulf states' air defenses are exhausted, their current stance of relative neutrality will become untenable, forcing them into a more direct confrontation with a regime prepared to take extreme measures to survive. The Lebanese front ignites the November 2024 ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. A key piece of the region's containment has also collapsed, fulfilling its core mission to protect the Islamic Republic in a time of war. Hezbollah launched rockets and drones at an Israeli military base on March 1st, its first cross-border attack since the ceasefire. The military impact was negligible, but the political consequences were immediate. Israel responded with massive airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Beirut's southern suburbs, the Bekaa Valley, and southern Lebanon. Both sides are now in full escalation. Hezbollah has launched further drone and rocket attacks, while Israel has called up over 100,000 reservists and sent troops back into southern Lebanon. In an unprecedented development, the Lebanese government, long dominated by Hezbollah, has had enough. Sick of being dragged into wars on behalf of a foreign power, Iran, the government has imposed an immediate and total ban on all Hezbollah military and security activities. The president has declared this decision final, signaling a historic break from the group's decades-long dominance. This internal Lebanese conflict threatens to create an inferno within the country, compounding the regional meltdown. Conclusion: 5 days into this conflict, the U.S.-led campaign has achieved undeniable tactical results. However, it has also shattered the status quo, spraying the entire region with new and volatile crises. Whether Washington can successfully navigate a transition in Iran, whether through internal reform or regime change, while simultaneously safeguarding its allies and pacifying Lebanon, remains a monumental challenge. The coming weeks will determine if this gamble reshapes the Middle East or plunges it into an even deeper, more unmanageable war.